Well, I did come back to the model table last night. And I did fasten our little piece on. And I did video it. And I know you want to see that. So let's get at it. It runs for about 6 minutes if I remember right. So yeah, if you don't want to be watching me fussing around with trying to get a little tiny part on that's as big as a fly's leg or smaller, yeah, you know where your fast forward button is. Well, this coffee is about 12 hours old. And one of the viewers was suggesting I could get a coffee cup hot plate. So I brought them up on Amazon to see what was available. I think I had one about 20 years ago. It burned out though. Anyway, it seems to me I got it used from a thrift store if I remember right. In fact, I'm sure that's how I got it. Anyway, about our little part here that we broke off from right there. I wasn't going to try and do it on camera, but I've changed my mind. And let's stick on the macro lens here and see what we can do. Let's just give it a quick once around here so that you can get perspective of what we're going to try and repair. Okay, I think if we can hold it at an angle, something like that, but then I can't come in, I have to come in like this. We'll figure something out here. Now I hope my voice is going to hold out here. My first thought was to dip the end of this little part in the CA, but I'm realizing now that in all likelihood it would probably wick its way up the part and glue itself to the tweezer. Okay, I do believe we've got enough. I think it'll, if I can release it now. When it's in the right place. And that's going to be the trick. That's not quite right. Looks like it's slumping. It looks like it's slumping down. See if I can get a hold of it. Well, maybe if I can grab hold of it with the tweezer right out at the end. Okay, I'm going to dip the end in the CA. Okay, let's try this again. That's not right, is it? I don't know if that's worse than nothing. Well, let's see what would happen if afterwards, after I reinforce it, then maybe I can bend it a little bit after it's been reinforced. At least that's the plan. Okay, what I did was when I took another look at it, from a different angle, I could see that it was really worse than nothing. So what I did was I stuck it back on where I think it's supposed to go here, and now I'm just going to reinforce it. Okay, now we'll let that one cure, and then I think we'll probably be able to straighten it, and it shouldn't break off. At least that's the plan. Maybe I'll just put a little on this side here. There we go. Okay, let's let that cure. Maybe tomorrow morning it'll be about as good as it's going to get. Probably about as good as it's going to get before it starts getting brittle, because this CA, I've mentioned that before, I find it gets brittle, and then after a long time, like say a couple of years, it almost seems to become powdery. It gets so brittle. I don't know, maybe it's just my imagination. Anyway, we'll see you in the morning. You will remember that yesterday I was talking about maybe I'll capture the sunrise. Well, this morning I just happened to wake up just before I knew it was going to rise. So what do? Well, I got up and I got my camera as ready as I could, and fumbling around in the dark and half asleep, and this is what we got. It's not the best. We'll try and do better. We'll try and keep working at it. Got a few more days yet before the longest day of the year. Okay, probably, I'm guessing 16 hours has passed now since we've glued that up. And I would think it's probably about as sturdy as it's going to get. Now, my goal is, let's see, I don't want to move anything here. I want to be able to bend this up, maybe just 10 degrees, so it's more horizontal, like this one here. I'm scared to do it. Maybe we'll stick on the macro lens. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, what I've done here is I've kind of rigged myself up a bit of a steady rest, so I can be steady. Now, please don't break off. Oh. All that work. I don't even know where it went now. None of the rest of you have this problem, do you? Okay, even if I do find it, and I probably will come across it unless I vacuum it up, I'm not going to bother trying to glue it on. We're just going to have to do without it here. Yeah, my fulcrum idea or steady rest was a good idea. And it's just that I guess the CA was too brittle, or maybe, you know what, it could be because there was too much spring in this thing, and it just sort of sprung up and flicked it off, if you know what I mean. Okay. Now, one of the viewers drew to my attention again that, and by the way, thank you for drawing things like that to my attention. You're not being a nuisance, or however you put it. You're being helpful to remind me that this thing here is supposed to be black, not deck tan like I painted the other one. So this one and the other one, I'm going to paint them black. I think somebody was maybe he mentioned that the mast was also supposed to be black. I'll have to check into that. Let's just continue on here. I'm kind of disgusted with myself for breaking that off after going to all that work. However, that's the way it goes, Another viewer said he's waiting for how did he put it? I can't remember exactly how it went, but the idea was he's waiting for the day when I take the whole thing and just chuck it out through the window. But no, that's not me. I don't think I'll ever. That's just not the sort of thing I would do. So you don't need to worry about that. Us Canadians are just way too laid back. I have moved the transmitter from right up there where I put it yesterday to right there. And just hang on, I'll show you why. Okay, all being well, I haven't tried this yet. It's going to be the first time. Now, Mark in Australia, I hope you notice we do have screens here in Canada. Okay, the idea is now I can easily take it off in the wintertime. I don't have to go out in the snow and change the battery if I have to. And let's see if we can clip it back in place now without dropping it. That's actually working better than I'd hoped. And it's about 8 inches down from the eave. I think it's going to be pretty well protected from the rain. I know that I've been getting a lot of deliveries lately, and some people are probably thinking maybe I'm being a little bit extravagant, especially when you see what this is. And some people are going to say, hey, didn't you already get something like that? Well, this is something a lot more light duty, and I'll explain in a minute why I got it. Now, something else to put together. I'll put it together and then I'll show it to you. I think you already know what it is. Okay, here's what happened. About 5 days ago, I twisted my right knee, and it was so bad I could hardly get around the house. And it lasted for about, I'm guessing, 24 hours. And I was wondering, what am I going to do? So I went on Amazon and I got a lightweight walker so that if it ever happens again, at least I can sort of get around the house. I mean, I got to get to the model table, right? Anyway, it's, I think it was Amazon's choice. It's, maybe some of you got this one. It had a pretty good rating. It seems like it's fairly strong, as long as it'll hold me. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it'll support me. No, mind you, I'm not going to be walking around like that. Anyway, now you know what came. Always something, right? You know, a word of advice to you younger guys, don't get old. Okay, now, what is sprue or flashing that has to be removed, and what is the little parts that are not supposed to be removed? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things hanging down from this, what's that called, a yard arm or something like that? Anyway, is that the thing I'm supposed to paint black? I'm not sure anymore. I'm sure that Mark is going to correct me if I'm wrong here. Now, so this part that I'm just touching right now, that's flashing, and this one down here on the end, that's flashing. And then there's another piece of flashing there. I believe this is flashing, yes. But there is minute detail that we don't want to remove. I don't know if you can see it or not. Almost need the macro lens for it. There's a piece right here and also right there. We don't want to remove that. So if I'm doing any scraping along this thing, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. There is one more thing I wanted to show you that you do need the macro lens to see. So we'll just do that. Now I'm noticing I've got some CA glue or something on my cutters there. I'm going to have to get some acetone, I guess. And hey, that's 2 times in a row now I've remembered the word acetone. Okay, so this is definitely flashing. Okay, but what I want to show you is there's a little tiny piece there that I hope got pressed into the rubber on these tweezers and didn't get squashed in. I was trying to be careful. Now you see that little, right there at the end of Mr. T's poking device there's a little tiny minute piece of detail there that is obviously not supposed to be scraped off. The reason I'm pretty sure is because the other one has one exactly the same way. So yeah, it's kind of hard to show it to you there, but anyway, I think you can probably see it all right. Yeah, so many little tiny details that you can mold into plastic. I think I've talked about this before, but sometimes I think photo etch is overrated. I think a lot of the stuff that we are making with photo etch could also be done with, in plastic. And of course now with the 3D printers coming along, well, could be that photo etch is going to have its day, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's continue on here. And I was hardly even touching it. Really, I was just hardly even, I don't know, it must have had a fracture or something. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I think I'm not going to try to glue this on. I suppose it's possible, but I don't want to waste a whole lot of time here. I think what I'll do is I'll just cut the other one off so it'll match. And I did use acetone on the cutters here. Yeah, don't get old. Forget it. Yeah, I found it. Actually, it didn't go anywhere near where I thought it did. It sort of landed down there on the bridge in that area. And anyway, when I started moving things around, there it was. But I'm not going to fix it, and I'm not going to do this one either. Yeah, I don't think there's time to do anything else here today. Now I suppose we could go looking for the ladder, photo at J20, but I think we'll leave that for tomorrow. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we will see you tomorrow. I better put these in the tin before I lose them.